Have you ever heard of a person so dangerous they had to be locked away for life, even though they never committed a crime? This is the unbelievable and tragic true story of Typhoid Mary. Our story begins in the early 1900s. In the bustling, crowded kitchens of wealthy New York families, a mysterious and deadly illness, typhoid fever, keeps popping up in otherwise pristine households. It was a terrifying puzzle. The water was clean, the homes were sanitary, yet people were getting sick and dying with a one common thread. A talented Irish immigrant cook named Mary Mallon entered George Soper, a sanitary engineer often called a disease detective. He was hired to investigate these outbreaks. As he traced the timeline of the infections, he noticed a pattern. Everywhere Mary Mallon worked, typhoid fever followed. Soper suspected something revolutionary, something that was almost unheard of at the time. Mary might be a healthy carrier. This meant she carried the deadly Salmonella typhi bacteria in her body, but showed absolutely no signs of being sick herself. She was a walking, talking, cooking source of infection. Imagine being told you're spreading a deadly disease when you feel perfectly fine. That's exactly what happened to Mary. When Soper confronted her, she was furious. She felt healthy, so how could she be the cause? Science was just beginning to understand asymptomatic carriers, and to Mary, it sounded like nonsense. She saw it as an attack on her livelihood and her character. She famously chased Soper out of her kitchen with a carving fork, refusing to provide samples for testing. For her, cooking wasn't just a job. It was the best way she knew to support herself as an independent woman in a tough city. Giving it up meant poverty. But the evidence was overwhelming. Public health officials, armed with Soper's findings and backed by the police, forcibly took Mary into custody in 1907. This was an unprecedented move. They transported her to a small, isolated island in the East River called North Brother Island. There she was quarantined in a small cottage. Tests confirmed Soper's theory. Her body was teeming with typhoid bacteria. Mary became a national spectacle, demonized in the press as Typhoid Mary. She fought her confinement, arguing that she was being imprisoned without a trial, deprived of her liberty without ever being sick. Her case sparked a massive public debate. Where does individual freedom end and public safety begin? After 3 long years in 1910, the authorities released her. But there was one critical condition. She had to promise, under oath, to never work as a cook again. They would even help her find other work, like being a laundress. Mary agreed. For a while she tried, but the pay was significantly lower. The work was harder and she missed the kitchen. So she made a fateful decision. She disappeared. Mary Mallon vanished into the city, changed her name to Mary Brown, went right back to doing the one thing she was forbidden to do, cooking. For 5 years, she moved from kitchen to kitchen, leaving a trail of sickness in her wake. The trail finally went hot in 1915. A devastating typhoid outbreak struck the Sloan Hospital for Women in Manhattan. 25 people, doctors and nurses, fell ill, and 2 died. And who was the new cook in the kitchen? You guessed it, Mary Mallon, working under a pseudonym. This time, the authorities showed no mercy. Her defiance had caused immense suffering. They found her, captured her once again, and sent her back to North Brother Island. There would be no second chances. Mary Mallon spent the rest of her life in that isolated cottage, a prisoner of public health. She lived there for another 23 years, finally passing away in 1938. In total, she was directly linked to at least 51 cases of typhoid and 3 deaths, though the true number is likely much higher. Mary's story is a tragedy from every angle. It's a story of a stubborn woman who could unaccept a scientific truth that ruined her life. But it's also the story of a public health system grappling with a brand new ethical dilemma. Her case set a legal precedent that still stands today, affirming the government's power to quarantine individuals for the greater good of public health. It's a powerful reminder of the complex balance between personal rights and collective responsibility. What do you think? Was the state justified in its actions? Or was Mary a victim of a system that didn't understand her? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and if you found this story as fascinating as I did, be sure to like this video and subscribe for more deep dives into history.